Okay guys, so we are live with the first Go for SE2 of September, this Thursday. We have an all Scandinavian matchup today, and we'll begin here in the bottom right position, playing as the Orange Protoss. It is Puppy Joe. And his opponent, playing as the Blue Terran, it is Microlife. So you can see the players have a quite friendly approach here. I have to say this map is a bit unforgiving with cheesy plays. We can see the early probe here going out to scout for Puppy Joe, and I think that is a really good decision from him. You never know what's going on here, really short distance, especially for the Reapers. So anything can happen at this map, especially in a best of one, you never know. And SUV chasing here, and has been a lot of adept plays lately for Protoss, going for the early resonating glaives. I think that can be a wise choice, especially at this kind of map, to be honest. And well, these players are also actually participating in Battle Scandinavia that will begin tomorrow. We can see both players taking the safer exp here behind, instead of going for this more greedy gold base. I think it's maybe a bit risky here. Also very hard for Protoss actually to be able to defend this, I would say. You have the drop plays that can split up your army a lot, so you really want to keep your army, at least in the beginning, quite centered here at your first base, your main base. And maybe a bit easier for Terran to actually deal with this one, but yeah, well, let's see here. Factory going down here for Microlife, and let's see what he decides to do here. We can see a Reaper here coming out, dealt with the Adept here really fast, so no problems there for Puppy Joe to fend off that scouting Reaper. And if we look here at the vision here, he actually only saw this first base, so he doesn't know there is a second base here yet, but however I think he actually can guess that. We can see a early robotics coming out here, so, and also Stalker, so might not go for this early adept play actually. Instead he might try something else. Seems like we can expect some kind of early drop harassment here from Microlife. Seems like he's building mines, adding a starport here, quite standard, and an additional barracks, so maybe some marine mine drop here coming out from him. And I really like that. Well, we can see adding on gateways here, Puppy Joe is, and also this War Prince, so feels like he might, it looks like he's actually going for some early aggression here and really wants to get this supply depot here, but this mine will make it harder for him to actually do something right here in the beginning. But with this War Priest we could actually start to try to poke some at mineral line, for example, going here from the left and just microing with that War Priest. At the same time we can see the worker count here for Puppy Joe is quite heavily, he's quite heavily ahead than Microlife actually. He's and he continues to drone off or probe up a bit, but adding on quite a few gateways actually. No Twilight Council as of yet. We can see here he's actually going for the sneaker play here, and seem to add a bit of a mix here, going for one Stalker, 3 Adepts here, while he has one Stalker and 1 Adept here. So it seems like he will try to do some damage here at the second base mineral line, and to be honest, Microlife's forces is quite off position to handle a drop like that. He's also going for a mine drop himself right now, so might not really be aware what is going on. And we can see the Observer scouts everything, and basically Puppy Joe knows that he's quite safe here if he wants to drop. You can see the other medivac over here with 2 mines here, and he will actually do quite a bigger warp in here, try to do some damage. Has 3 kills so far, and here comes the mine drop in Puppy Joe's base, but that is scouted really fast, so good reactions there. He managed to get 2 pros with that mine. Even more mines being dropped here as well, but the observer is here and he will not get many kills from that. At the same time, we can see that Microlife is dealing with this drop. However, there are still 3 adepts here in this warp prism. 2 mines here, and he actually went away with that observer, or did it get killed by the mine? There it is. And there's still actually a mine here in the mineral line, but he actually got a few of the probes there, but he really needs to get that one as well. I don't know if he's aware that there actually is one over there. We can see a lot of barracks being added now, so production units here for Microlife being added. We can already see that Puppy Joe has added, he has soon 7 gateways here, adding the blink here, so might see a transition from these stalkers into blink, these adepts into blink stalkers instead. So gives a lot of mobility at this map as well. I mean, just if you have the vision, you can basically always escape just blinking down from the edges here surrounding the different bases here. So I really like the choice that he's going for the blink at this map. We can see that Microlife will try to prevent this by destroying the debris here, the blockade, and also adding a missile turret up here just to try to make the drops a bit harder here. But it's so hard for Microlife at the moment to actually get the war prism here, and well, Puppy Joe decides to take opportunity and try to get the supply depot here. And it's actually burning here, so, and he's going with quite a big force here into the front here with 2 sentries, 1 immortal, and several stalkers here. And we can see here he will actually get some supply depots here, and at the moment Microlife is supply blocked, so he can't really create anything more, and he will actually lose production here. But we can see the force here of Microlife is at the wrong side of these rocks, but eventually he will be able to get through here and come from the behind. But right now, I mean, the sentries up here will be able to I don't like the here comes the Guardian Shield, so, but there are lots of Marauders here, only 1 Immortal at the moment, and the Hash actually blocked off the ramp here, but the War Prism is actually doing some micro. The second Immortal comes in here from the bottom, also doing a ton of damage to these Marauders, and the Medivac goes down with all the units in it as well, and this looks quite grim actually for Microlife. He doesn't have the units to contest against Puppy Joe's army here. We can see here Puppy Joe decides to go up now. He feels that he has the advantage right now, and with 2 Immortals against the amount of Marauders here, this is actually quite grim for Microlife to defend. He actually pulls workers now, and he starts to lose a lot now, and this is my GG, my friends. This doesn't look good at all for Microlife, and I don't think he can actually come back from this. And there it is. So Puppy Joe wins the first match of today, and he will proceed to let's see, I think it is round of 16 now in the bracket actually. And as you might notice, I'm doing a solo cast today. Mindful is not available unfortunately, so but you will have to stick with me for now at least. And some updates here from the bracket. Space Marine won his first match as well. Pox sadly couldn't make it to the starting time and had to well, he actually had to forfeit against Mr. T, so no game there. Climber actually lost against Nefaste. He's from Sweden, and as you saw, Puppy Joe won against Microlife here, and Lille Kanin was seeded, so he's already ready for round of 16. But I think we will actually follow Puppy Joe for now. Always good to see some Protoss action. And he will actually face, let's see, it is Nefaste from France. It seems like Puppy Joe unfortunately started here, so we will go for Space Marine instead, if he shows up, that is. Don't really know where he is, to be honest. So let's see, it's Space Marine versus... Who is he facing? He is facing Velociraptor. And I will go to break screen just for a short while before we start the game here. Seems to be a bit of waiting time here, so see you soon. Okay, so we are back. Immediately we get a pause. So it seems like okay. He actually took the wrong race actually, so I guess that would be an interesting matchup if you would have played Terran instead of Protoss, but now we'll at least see okay, so game starting again. Space Marine quite well, quite recently he joined Red Bloods, I think. Yeah, it was like only a couple of days ago, I think, actually. So new recruit for Red Bloods, and really fun to see. And let's see here, it's a best of one. We are playing at Galactic Process at the moment, and we'll start off here in the bottom left position. He's playing as the red Terran. It is Lucifer, or Velociraptor actually, if we look at the bracket. And his opponent from Denmark, he's playing as the orange Protoss. It is Space Marine. So once again a PVT right here. So let's see if we will see some different. We could see that Microlife in the previous game, he went for 2 barracks, factory and starport, not in that order though, but he tried to make some mine drop. Didn't actually work. Gateway being added and a simulator here, so nothing out of the ordinary for none of the players at the moment. No proxy as of yet. We can see quite early scout actually for Space Marine here going out, so he really wants to know what's going on. We can see compared to a Velociraptor here, his worker is a bit late here compared to Space Marine, and it seems like he's gonna take this Nexus here, so standard expand here. Ahead of core is actually quite normal now. Get that economy going, and adding on a second gas here as well. So well, CC going down here for Lucifer right now, and some pylon defense going down here as well for Space Marine. So both players seem to focus on the economy for now, at least. No early push really, it seems like, for now at least. So reactor going out here at the barrack, so let's see. It seems like he's actually going for some marine build here, considering that first marine and no reaper, so might actually try to get a bunch of marines here. Oh, he's actually getting misclick. I thought so. Weird to get reaper actually, and he seems to go for marines, as I said. So adding on a factory here as well. Robotics going down for Space Marine, so nothing really going on. The scouting adept just checking what's going on, and nothing is really going on. Don't really know what he's doing with this. If he wants to hide something here, maybe try to deny an eventual expand somehow, but this worker is found and will go down here. Really good awareness there from Space Marine. The factory is finished. He's going for the mine, going for the starport here as well, so seems to be a standard 1-1-1, and that explains why he went for the reactor here as well for the barracks. So he wants to do some kind of mine marine drop, I would assume actually. And let's see here. We actually had the observer here going up early observer, adding on Twilight Council and 2 gateways here. So let's see what he actually chooses to do. Will he go for the adept speed or the blink stalkers? That is a question. It's really useful for dealing with drops if he goes for the blinks, but he seems to go for the aggressive move here instead. Or no, he actually cancelled the adept speed, and here he goes for the blink instead. So I really like this, but we can see quite many marines here going out. It's actually 9 of them, and it doesn't really seem like he's going for the drop play at the moment. He will go for the mine drop probably here, maybe a double mine drop actually, adding on tech labs for the factory and the starport. So here comes the medivac with 2 mines actually. So, and at the same time he goes for a quite offensive push here with 9 marines. The mothership core is however ready for this, and he also has a quite weirdly placed pylon, actually blocks his probes a bit, to be honest, and not really much. Oh, look at the stalkers already in position for this drop, and there goes 1 overcharge, 1 marine goes down, and this adept can't really do that much against the amount of marines that Velociraptor has over here. Bunker going up here, defensive bunker, 3rd base going down for Space Marine. So, and we can see the 3rd base is starting now for Lucifer. I will just call him Lucifer, not Velociraptor, because it's so confusing. So, I mean, looking at this, they are quite similar in the timings, to be honest. Switch going down here, reactor going into the starport instead of the factory. So yeah, it seems like he will go for quite heavily bio play here, and these marines are just standing here chilling. At the same time you have the medivac here, and here he decides to maybe go in. No, he actually backs off. He saw all the stalkers there, and good timing, but look at the blink here. He actually might be able to get this medivac, and it's so low. It's 1 hit from dying, and there it is. Goes down, loses 2 mines, got nothing done there. You can see the upgrades going down now as well for Space Marine, so he's looking in quite good shape here. He's not losing any workers, he is actually oversaturated here, so he will transfer a lot of probes here to his 3rd base. We can see the same going down for Lucifer here as well. He is however only at 12 workers at his main at the moment, so 11 workers behind for now compared to Space Marine. And I really like how Space Marine is doing this, but at the same time he's not really facing any pressure from Lucifer, and that is something that he really needs to start doing, because right now Space Marine can just sit back, relax, enjoy, get what units he wants, the composition he wants. He also sees everything that is going on here. He has the observer, and this has not been scouted by Lucifer at the moment. He can see, okay, a few marauders, but mostly marines for now. Some mines here and there. I mean, he has 3 mortals, quite many stalkers, 1 sentry just for the guardian shield, and maybe 1 or 2 force fields. So look at the amount of gateways he's adding now. A lot of production being added here for Space Marine, and he has the economy for it as well. So I mean, right now I really like the position that Space Marine is in. He will soon have +1 in both attack and armor as well, together with resonating glaives, which will be really useful if he wants to use adepts for the marines here, and there he gets the observer. So, well, a bit late maybe, because right now Space Marine knows everything that is in Lucifer's base here. And we can see the death drop going down here. He's starting to kill a few workers, but good reactions there from Lucifer, but he doesn't really go for, you can see multiple drops here at the same time. So 9 workers down for now, and the missile turret as well, and not really a reaction here from Lucifer with his army. And look at this, they are actually 2 hitting the workers here just because he has that +1 upgrade. So quite a lot of damage actually done by this small drop, and a 4th base being taken here at the same time from Space Marine. And I mean, he has the Templars now as well, and soon he has the Storm, so this bio army will have some real issues dealing with the ground army of Space Marine. He has quite a lot of Liberators, 4 of them, so that is something that Space Marine will have to take in account. But at the same time, I mean, the Storm's not really finished yet, and if these Templars actually get caught here, he really has to protect. He actually loses 1 of these Templars, but here comes the Storms probably. Yeah, there's 1 Storm, and all of those Marines at the ramp dies. And look here at the other Storm, it's really useful here against the Marines. As you can see, the Immortals just doing short work of the Marauders. No more Storms left, 1 Storm left actually, so we have Archon here, but at the same time not enough Stalkers, it feels like, for Space Marine. He's actually losing quite a lot here. He needs something to deal with the Marines, and he doesn't really have that at the moment. He's trying to turn back here and get it, but the amount of medvacs here actually heals more than he can damage, and I really think he should have had a bit more adepts there, because he couldn't really do anything to the Marines. He dealt with the Marauders with his Immortals, but it was the Marines that actually did all the damage. And now we can see the Tempest go out here. So a classic Protoss bio counter basically, with Templar, Storms, Stalkers for dealing with Vikings and Liberators, but mostly Vikings I would say. And then you have the Templars to deal with the bio. As you can see here, the Storms are so powerful against all bio, and now he just decides to chase here. He will probably blink in, yeah, right now, so he gets a couple of more units there, and Lucifer is actually forced to back off, and we can see a 5th base going down here. He's actually taking the gold base here and really wants to put pressure here on Lucifer. And also 2-2 in upgrades compared to 1-1 is quite tough for Terran to deal with here. And just look here, he just blinks straight in, snipes off a couple of Liberators, and look here at the Marauders. They just basically went into the Storm and decided to tank here, and we have the 2 Tempest here that will just stand here in the back lines, shoot at the Liberators, and 1 Liberator is down, and now this ramp is suddenly a lot more open. And we can see here as well, it will come a drop here from Space Marine into this 3rd base problem. There is a mine however, so that might actually do some damage here, and but this is where the real action is. The Liberators are going down quite fast here, and it doesn't seem like Lucifer has enough forces, and there's the GG. So good solid play there from Space Marine, and he will proceed into the next round. So let's see here, do we have any new updates on the bracket? We'll take a quick look here and see. Lillekanin actually lost, sadly, but Space Marine is through to the quarterfinals, where it is best of 3, so I think we will continue to follow Space Marine. And well, we will be right back with the quarterfinal between Space Marine and Vanja. And well, if you like our stream, just put a follow. We will very much appreciate that. And if you look at the break screen right now, you can help us by using our coupon codes there. Just simply go into the Matcherino page and write Viking TV 2 as in the coupon code area. You have to log in with Twitch and press donate, but you will just donate $1 for free, so not your own hard-earned cash. But we will be back shortly with the quarterfinal between Space Marine and Vanya. So we are back with the quarterfinal. It is a best of 3 and we will start at King Seong Station. And beginning here in the bottom right position, he is from Denmark, representing Team Red Bloods. And his Protoss, it is Space Marine. And his opponent, playing as the Red Zerg in the upper left position, it is Vanya. So another matchup, the first Protoss versus Zerg of today, and well, I think that Space Marine looked really solid in the previous game here, but I don't know. I mean, Velociraptor is good. I don't really know about Vanya, but I think he is a real solid player as well. He is in the Grandmaster League at least, so don't really know about his position, but I have faith in Space Marine here. We can see he's going for the Nexus prior to the Cybernetics core in this matchup as well, and looks like it was a 17 hatch and 17 pool here from Vanya. We have seen quite a lot of Zergling, Baneling, together with a few Roaches against Protoss lately, I think. At least it is really useful for dealing with Adepts. The Banelings does quite a lot of damage actually to the mass of Adepts that you have, and is a really good counter. The Lings are not as strong, but if you have enough mass, you are actually quite good. But it is also larva intensive, so you will eventually need a macro hatch somewhere. And well, we have seen sort of, for example, doing that. We have seen a lot of the Korean players doing that type of build as well. So
game paused.
Seems like we have a pause here. I'm gonna take a look here. And we are back. Yeah, and Twilight Council goes down here. We can see quite a lot of Lings here actually. Has 10 of them, adding 4 more. Oh, even 12 Lings over here. So quite a lot of overlords over here as well. No, you actually have the evolution chambers, but at the same time we can see an aggressive push here, actually trying to just get a few of these workers. Some good micro there, trying to get that spore crawler, and there's the recall. But at the same time, look here at this eventual drop play that will come in. The question is, would Space Marine know that something fishy is going on here? Because here comes the drop, and he has to get some units over here right now, unless he wants to lose this. We can see here he tries to go for the pylon, and this adept can basically just stand there and shoot. He pulls the drones as well, or probes I mean. The pylon here, however, is going down right now. Decides to pull the drone probes over here as well, but the Lings are coming in here. No production really as of yet for Space Marine. He has the warping technology, but he needs to change his production here, and it's so close. He needs 8 more energy to get the overcharge here, but he's losing so much. And Vanya is actually at 2 bases right now, and this looks really grim for Space Marine. He wasn't ready for that drop, so sadly he actually loses game number 1 here. But it is a best of 3, so I hope, I mean, that was just basically a good timing push from Vanya right there, and he wasn't really ready for it. So Galactic Process will be the next map of choice here for the players, and I'm gonna see here if I can get into Nightbot so I can change the bracket for you guys. Let's see here. Well, game number 2 is at least starting right now. let's see here, brackets over there, so it should be this one instead. Sorry for the delay in the cast here. Well, game number 2 has started, and in the upper right position, playing as the orange Protoss, it is Space Marine. And in the opposite corner, in the left bottom corner, playing as the red Zerg, he is up 1 game. It is Vanya. Taking that early hatch, or 17 hatch, I mean, not early, standard, quite. And it seems like Space Marine is going for the same type of build he had in the previous. He's going for the Nexus here, 1 gas, 1 gateway, and then Nexus followed by Cybernetics core. Spawning pool going down here for Vanya. Let's see if he decides to do some kind of Ling push once again, as he did in the last game. I think Space Marine will be a bit more ready for a push like that in this game, at least I hope so, because he was kind of caught off guard by that early Ling harassment. He didn't have enough units to deal with it. He would have needed a few more adepts, at least 1 or 2 more adepts to deal with that push actually. So spawning pool almost finished here for Vanya. Cybernetics almost finished for Space Marine. Decides to go for 1 adept and Cybernetics core. Only 4 Lings going down right now, and seems like he's droning here as well, Vanya. So and also he goes for 2 queens here and speed upgrade. So yeah, at least no mass Ling here, but he's adding on an evolution chamber. So the question is here, if he will just go for an early upgrade here for his Lings, or if he decides to actually go for a drop play now as well. We can see here he's moving in with the Overlord over here, but this is quite standard play actually, just for scouting, and doesn't really mean that he will go for a drop. Now you can see he's adding on the Zerg upgrade here, 1 Ling that tries to get some information here, denied by the adept that Space Marine built earlier. Twilight Council being added here, so, and also a few more adepts it seems like. So let's see if he decides to go through. He actually does. Not really doing anything. This adept is just standing here looking at the moment, not even attacking. He managed to get 1 drone, but had to pay for it with his life. So couple of more gateways now being added, so a bit more production here. Resonating glaives in the Twilight Council as well. So Space Marine is definitely going for some kind of adept composition in this game, at least. 3rd base going down for Vanya here, almost finished, so his economy will eventually be quite good here, and Space Marine might actually be going for some sort of 2 base push here. Baneling Nest goes down here as well for Vanya. We can see here robotics as well, so might see a War Prism eventually, and some adept drop then. The Ling doesn't really get any information up in the main base, because that is denied by the adepts. A lot of adepts are being produced right now, so definitely some kind of 2 base timing, I guess, from Space Marine. He will look to do some damage here. A lot of Zerglings being produced now for Vanya. Will probably get a bunch of Banelings here as well, and the amount of adepts that there is now will have a hard time to actually deal with the amount of Lings that is being produced, and Banelings here as well being produced by Vanya. But the question is, will he be able to sneak his way here into the main? But look at the amount of Lings here, and there are only 5 adepts here at the moment, and there's the 6th one, and he's actually splitting up here. So 2 adepts goes here into this base, and he actually decides to cancel over there, and we'll try to get a few of these workers, but not really succeeding in that attempt. Decides to split up his army again, and these drones are actually a bit more open here for harassment, but here comes the Ling Force, so really hard for Space Marine to do anything there with the Ling and Banelings here defending. Vanya is really paying attention as well what is going on, and a lot of Zerglings actually, and Space Marine doesn't really have that much. But a good wall, however, is something that he has. But there are a lot of Banelings here, so might actually be quite troublesome. We can see a warping at the same time here, or a drop at least for Space Marine. The Dark Shrine is almost finished, but there is a Spore Crawler here in the main. And here comes the big Baneling push, and this will be a tough one to defend here. Look at the Banelings just opening up that way through to be able to easier get into the base here, but this base is however quite undefended at the moment. He has a few cells here, but they will get surrounded and go down quite fast. Managed to get a few of these Zerglings. The Banelings, however, being picked off by these Adept and War Priest, but isn't enough really. And there are so many Zerglings right here, and they're actually squeezing through here, and they are in the main base. We can see even more sellouts being warped in here, but the Zerglings, they are everywhere at the moment. Let's do a zoom out here so you can see Zerglings just swarming the main base here of Space Marine, and this doesn't look good at all. Has to sacrifice quite a lot of these workers. The Dark Shrine is scouted as well, and Space Marine is definitely having trouble to defend this. I don't really think that he would be able to stop this push actually. He's losing way too much as it is right now. Has a cannon in his third, so he is able to mine here for some time, and will try to warp in a few more of these cells, but there are so many Zerglings here just pushing and surrounding all of the units that are produced by Space Marine. And Vanya is really playing well with his composition right now, so some production facilities going down here as well for Space Marine, and the Zerglings here just wrecking the base of Space Marine. So I can't really see how Space Marine how he's gonna come back from this. Actually, he has lost so much. He has lost 37 probes. He has at least killed 17 of Vanya's drones, but he's also losing his second base. All of the production he had there, Ford, Cybernetics, has to rebuild everything. Eventually he's able to defend this and kill off the Zerglings, but the damage has been done from Vanya's side. He's also expanding upon this. He's adding a fourth and fifth base upon this, and has a really good income at the moment. 63 workers compared to 28, and you can see the War Priest just goes straight in here. He will try to do some damage here to Vanya. I can't really see how is he gonna do it. You can see here a Dark Templar warping will go here and try to take that Spore Crawler just to deny the vision here from it's immediately shut down. Can't even get anything out of it. The Banelings are just taking them out, and well, Space Marine tries to get this second base up and running once again. His third base is oversaturated, and his main as well. He actually isn't mining gas at the moment, so quite understandable since he really needs units at the moment. Let's see here. Still 5 bases here, a lot of lings and banelings, so a killing blow is about to come in here. Space Marine tries to get some Archons here. He has 1 at the moment. Quite a lot of gas, could produce 1 more if he wanted to, but I mean, this is too late basically. He really needs to get something more going if he's gonna defend this. This is too much, I guess, or have some sick micro with this Archon over here. You can see that Vanya is basically just buying some time, messing up. He is at 5 bases. Doesn't really have to be worried about Space Marine's army at the moment. We can see Infestors going down now as well here for Vanya. The question is, will he wait for them to arrive or will he just go in? It seems like he's just going straight in here. Banelings, Zerglings, 2 Archons here for Space Marine, almost finished. 1 Archon is about to go down, it's down there, overcharge here, doing quite well, but it's simply just too much here for Space Marine to handle. 3 Archons down, soon this pylon is down as well, and there are still lings here in the base. And there's the GG, so really solid play there from Vanya, and sadly Space Marine has been eliminated here in the quarterfinal of this Go for SC2 tournament. And it seems like actually all of the Scandinavians has been eliminated, sadly. So we will find another matchup here to follow. I think we might go for Keen actually in his quarterfinal. So stay tuned and we'll be right back here with some more Go for SC2 action. See you soon. Seems like this match series is taking a bit longer than expected, so let's see here. I think it was Nefast that was one game ahead. It's a CVC at Frost LE. So starting here in the upper right position, playing as the blue Zerg, we have Siglave. I think so. That's how it's pronounced. But well, going in the other direction here, in the opposite corner, playing as the green Zerg, it is Nefast. Representing Addict, it seems like. So a CVC, we can see an early pull going down for Nefast here. Seems like Siglave might go for a pull here as well. So he actually went for a what did he do? He must have went for a 17 pool, right? It looks like it was 16 pool, but that sounds so weird. But maybe he did. Anyway, a really early pull from Nefaste, and quite early for Siglav, but he's going for the hatch here as well. So 16 hatch. Or is it just that he was a bit late with his drone? So it's basically it is a 17, I guess. 17 pool, 17 hatch. But well, looked weird. Maybe some new tactic, I don't know. And a bunch of Zerglings going out here for Nefast. Speed is being researched. No Zerglings yet for Siglav. So he's creating a queen here, but he will have Zerglings in his base soon. He has 2 Zerglings, 4 going out right now, and a queen. So, and he's actually going in the right direction here as well. So not really delayed. He knows he's not here in the bottom right corner, but the Lings here, let's see, can they do some damage? 4 Lings here, he is creating 4 more, so he will have enough Zerglings to defend this at least. And Nefast starts to poke here. Not the best. Good micro there, saves this low Ling over here. The queen decides to go out here. A lot of Zerglings being produced now for Siglav here. He has the second base, also decides to get the spine crawlers as extra defense. Soon Banelings, however, will come. The speed is finished now for Nefast, and he will have a time span here where his Lings are a bit faster than Siglav's. And we can see here he actually goes with all his drones into the gas just to save them. The speed is finished now for Siglav as well. No Banelings as of yet. The question is, he actually loses a lot of Zerglings here and decides to pull back. His own hatchery is starting to go here down here, but he's being chased at the moment by a bunch of Zerglings. There are some Banelings up here waiting. Wants to have these Zerglings bunched up though, but Siglav doesn't take that bait. He's being chased off by the Banelings here, for now at least. No Baneling nest out yet for Siglav. He seems just to be focusing on droning a bit right now. Moves with his spine crawler. Oh, he actually didn't make a spine crawler yet, so a new spine crawler. I don't think he must have cancelled that. Baneling nest goes down for Siglav, so quite delayed Baneling nest, but I guess he has the better economy, but he hasn't really droned up. I mean, he has 5 drones over here playing at 1 gas here as well, so Siglav is actually behind in drones, even though he fended off that attack. We can see here comes the Banelings, 1 not that good hit, and he actually just blows that Baneling up in vain basically. So quite must have been some sort of misclick there. And here comes another Ling push from Siglav, and a few Banelings here in the base for Nefast, so nothing really going on at the moment. They're just poking with small forces here at each other, but no real aggression except for that first early push from Nefast. And we'll be able to get at least one drone there, but has to retreat because that Baneling is annoying. Decent hit against 3 lings, but this queen is helping out those 2 lings here. Doesn't want to lose that Baneling, and he doesn't. So, well, Lair almost finished here for Siglavi is finished now. Spire goes down for Nefast. He already finished his Lair. So both players going for the Muta composition. The question is here, I mean, right now they are at the even count here. Drones, Nefast a bit ahead, not by much though. Both players playing at 4 gas, all of them are saturated, so gathering up gas just to get that Muta count up. Actually Siglavi is not anymore. He had actually missed 1 drone here in the faster, so Siglavi had a small lead there in gas income. However, 3rd base going down here and here, so well, they are mirroring each other basically at the moment. 2 spine crawlers in the front just to add some protection against the ling run-bys that we eventually see here that will come up. Won't be able to do that much actually against 2 spine crawlers though. Spire almost finished for both players, and Siglav has a bit more economy behind it, at least in gas here, to get small advantage in the Muta count, I guess. It doesn't really seem like, well, Nefast is not producing Mutas at the moment, but he is bunkering up a lot, so I guess eventually we'll see. Here comes the Muta production, and the Spire here is scouted out, so both players, or at least Siglav knows that he will have a Spire against him here with Mutas, and well, I guess Nefast knows now, quite hands-on, this Overlord goes down. But right now, if we look at the amount of units here, we can see 10 Mutas compared to 7 of Nefast, and he is supply blocked right now, so Siglav in a bit better position at the moment. He's also mining now from his 3rd base, which will allow him to get even more Mutas than Nefast already has. And I mean, he really needs, he has to fight at the Spore Crawlers to be able to win a fight like this. And we can see the Mutas, they will just head straight in here. And this is not a fight that Nefast wants to take. Has a bit more Mutas here right now, so I guess he could actually do some damage here, but 5 drones being picked off there. The queen is quite low now as well, so half HP on that queen. Look here, just mining that gas so heavily, and Nefast is actually a bit behind here now that he lost 5 of those drones, so won't be able to replenish his Muta count as fast as Siglav will do. The spine crawler goes down here, and Nefast doesn't want to engage here. They have 1-1 in armor, both players here, and actually I would like to see that Nefast, actually Siglav has more Mutas here. I didn't know that, but it seems like it. And well, this is not the fight that Siglav should win. Really hard to see here what's going on, but we can see now that Siglav is starting to lose more Mutas than Nefast here, and the resupply here of army is a lot closer for Nefast as well. So the Ling run by, however, is occurring right here, and well, Nefast has the better army there. I didn't think that he would win a fight actually when it comes down to the income they have, but I mean, we can see that Siglav has better income than Nefast, but he is not actually getting enough mutas to counter here, and they are actually caught off, and he will lose at least one, maybe two here, or even more. If he decides to turn here, he will eventually be caught up, but the question is, why did those two stop? I don't really know. They are quite important, but here is the resupply of army here in Siglav's mute army, so that makes it impossible for Nefast to pursue, especially when he has two queens here as well as backup. So, well, this overlord should be picked off, but isn't noticed by Nefast for some reason, or he doesn't even care. But a lot of lings out here for Siglav, so it's basically he puts a lot of minerals at Zerglings, and he's almost at 4 bases now as well, or at least he's getting 4 bases, and Nefast as well. Right now the question is, will he be able to snipe those, or will he even try? No, he backs off. We'll add +1 attack here while Nefast goes for the armor here, so will be really hard actually for Siglav to win a fight here against these armor upgrades that will eventually kick in here. Infestation pit going down as well for Siglav. Hive being produced, infestation pit already finished for Siglav. So here comes the Ling run by and the Muta. Multiple attacks here at multiple fronts, and this base is going down. So a really good split there from Siglav, able to get the attention from Nefast here into the 3rd base down here with his Zerglings, while he did another attack up here at the 4th base. So I can see the Mutas once again being chased here. The armor upgrade has kicked in here. You can see with the queen support here, Nefast doesn't really want to take this fight. And if you look at the sheer Muta count, Siglav is a bit ahead. He has 36 compared to 33 and is producing more. However, Vipers coming out here for Nefast, and this will actually be really hard for Siglav now to win a fight. However, I can assume that here's a Ling run by once again, picking off these drones, and the Mutas had to go in, and once the Mutas goes in, he will just go straight in here, pick off that Spore Crawler and start to work here at the 2nd base. But here comes the Mutas from Nefast just to counter this and defend, but still quite a lot of damage done here. He will lose a bunch of Mutas here, however. He can't really escape here, and this is costly for Siglav. He is actually losing a lot of Mutas, has to produce more now. We can see the Muta count for the both players, 33 to 35, and Siglav was ahead and has produced more already. So that was expensive actually for him to lose that amount of Mutas. But still, he is at 4 bases while Siglav is only at 3. So the Vipers are out now. The question is, are there any infestors for... I don't think so actually. No infestors yet for Nefast. So only playing with his Mutas and Zerglings, while we have 3 Vipers here with this... where is it? Parasitic bomb. And they have the energy for 3 of them. So the Vipers are scouted now, and basically this is really hard now, because Siglav will actually, he won't be able to go in here against this Muta ball with the Viper support. We can see he's just staying back, waiting for his own Vipers to pop out, but they're really low in energy. They need energy now before he loses too much. And he just goes straight into the main base here. The question is, will he be able to actually... He will be able to pick off the Spire and cancel that upgrade. This is quite big actually. So no more Mutas for Siglav, and actually right now the Vipers are still here, but he has some Vipers of his own. But and we can see here comes the parasitic bombs. both players tries to split here, but look at the amount of mutas that goes down for both of the players. But it actually seems like Nefast is doing a bit of better trade here compared to what Siglav is doing. Even though both players loses a lot of mutas, Nefast is the one that has the amount of mutas still here, and now he basically can't do anything. And there's the GG, so a bit of a better parasitic bomb there from Nefast compared to Siglav, and I think that was game. Or is it 1-1? Let's see here. I really don't know what's going on here, to be honest. If it is 1-1 or if it's 2-0 to Nefast. I think Nefast had 1-0 actually. Yeah, so coming up now then is Keen versus Nefast. And well, seems like well, we'll have a short break here, and when we come back we will have Keen versus Nefast in the semi-finals. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so game is starting with Nefast versus Keen. So it's a TVC at Frozen Temple in the semi-finals in a best of 3. So starting off here in the bottom right position, playing as the green Zerg, representing Addict Esports, it's Nefast. And in the upper left position, he's playing as the red Terran, and he is representing Africa TV, I think it's called. It is Keen. So TVC here. I think the composition, as I explained earlier, as well as against Adept, using Zerglings, Banelings, a few Roach Ravagers maybe, and Infestors. Really useful if you go up against the bio composition Terran at least. I think Keen should be the favorite in this matchup. I mean, he has a bit more of what do you call it? A bit more expertise, I guess, in the pro scene compared to Nefast. However, Nefast has been playing really well, at least the previous game that we saw, but Keen should be maybe a bit too hard for him to deal with, to be honest. He's, I would say, he's well, he has WCS points at Korean scene, so he is not a stranger to professional gaming in StarCraft 2. Few links here, 6 of them goes out. Just securing this third base, I guess, was the point of taking this route. But it seems like he's actually backing off with that drone, so doesn't seem to actually go for the third base here. Instead, he might actually go for some early harassment here. Has 2 of these Marines against him, together with here comes the Zerglings, and he actually decides to split off here, and doesn't really care to close out, but he has 4 Marines now, so this should be easy for him to fend off. A bit delayed with the CC since he lost that worker though that was building it. We can see here that Nefast is actually getting a Roach Warren here, so well, it's also quite standard. If you want to go for the Baneling composition, you usually get the Roach Warren prior to the Baneling nest, just to get the tanky units up, I guess. And switch here, Hellions going out for Keen. We can see a starport here, so 1-1-1 with at least 2 Hellions, even getting 4, so might actually see Hellbat drops eventually, Medivac going out, and here comes the Roaches. Almost looked like he was going out. He's actually going out. Quite many Roaches actually, 7 of them, and adding on a lair to this as well, so let's see here if he is able to do some damage here. Roach is quite strong against these Hellions, at least a few of these Marines, 7 of them, but I don't think that should be enough. We can see Keen decides to back off here, wants to fight further back, wants to have the support here, and I don't know really, the Hellions here, 2 of them down, 3 of them goes down here, but he's standing basically in the ramp here where the fire hits all of the Roaches, so not that efficient trade actually for Nefast. There should have maybe tried to poke some holes here in the mineral line instead of going straight up against the Hellions here at the ramp. Not a good position to fight in, even though he had the Roaches. Evolution Chamber going down here as well, and Roach speed being researched for Nefast. He's playing on 2 bases, so no third taken yet for him. Let's see here if this push is actually maybe getting this queen. And the Hellbats come up here now. Stim being researched now, and this is quite scary actually to deal with for Nefast, because he doesn't have anything at the moment. The Hellbats quite tanky as well, and we can see the difference here. The Hellbats tries to go here for the workers, and one queen is going down here as well. The drones actually flees all over across the map here. But right now this looks quite grim here. He decides to turn back, but here are the Hellions. Good micro here from Keen, just killing off a bunch of workers here. You can see here 15 drones killed for Keen here, and that will hurt the economy of Nefast. He's on 2 bases with 21 drones and lots of roaches here, really low. Let's see if they are killable. No, he actually decides to back off here. Can't really contest the amount of roaches here. The roach speed is finished now as well, so well, will he drop or will he just stand here and be annoying? We can see here bunker being built as well, just to fortify the entrance here. Here comes the Hellbat drop, just denying so much mining here for Nefast, and basically this is his main mining base. He's not really mining up here in his in his other base, and he's only mining minerals at the moment, so this is so hard for him. He really needs to split up these roaches and have multiple defenses, so we can see as he's doing right now. But I mean, he's not mining at the moment, and he is really far behind at the right now. We can see has lost a bit more, 700 more than Keen has, and also a lot of workers. And this push will actually be quite hard. The push that is coming right now will be hard for him to deal with a tank here, and with no gas income basically for a while there. He hasn't produced any roaches basically. He has a few of them here, decides to go out here, but there are too many marines here, and with the stim finished as well. And this is not something that Nefast will be able to contest right now, to be honest. He has to get more units to be able to fight against it. We can see the stim marines just go straight through these roaches, has nothing to put up here, loses a queen, even more roaches goes down. The siege tank here in the backline fires off, and well, this is GG. So game number 1 goes to Keen, and that first push from Keen did so much damage to the income of Nefast that he basically could not bounce back. And just waiting for game number 2 to start here. I don't really know what map it is, but well, I think that Keen is a bit too good actually for Nefast to deal with. I mean, still Nefast, he has had a good run here in the tournament, going all the way to the semifinals, but well, Keen might be his last opponent for today. Let's see, Frost LE is the map, and let's see what Nefast can do here. Nurkio is already finished here for in the other semifinals and is in the finals. So the winner of this semifinal will face Nurkio, which will be an interesting match. Haven't really seen Nurkio play for a while. I think the last time I saw him, what was that? I think it was the Shoutcraft Kings actually that I saw him last. So introducing the players here. Up in the right corner, he's done one game playing as the green Zerg. It is Nefast. And his opponent, leading with 1-2-0, needs one more game to go through to the finals against Nurkio. Playing as the red Terran, it is Keen. So it looks like Nefast wants to take this base. It's actually a 15 hatch. And barrack going up here for Keen together with a refinery. So, well, a 15 hatch from Nefast. Let's see what he decides to do next. He's going for the, I think that was the 15, was it a 16 pool? So a bit different timings than you're used to see, I guess. Well, he will have an early hatchery up to start drone if he wants to, or maybe he wants to go for some early aggression with a lot of Zerglings early on. And we can see it, scouting SUV goes out here, will go straight to the left, and second CC goes down here for Keen. Spawning pool almost finished here now, so let's see. Doesn't seem to have... yeah, the hatchery is finished now. Decides to build 2 queens at once, so, and here comes the first Zerglings, 2 of them. The question is, what will he choose to do here? Will he go for the droning, get a bit of income here at his second, or will he go for some aggressive push? Seems like he is droning. The Reaper, the first Reaper is here, and will maybe, yeah, will actually get some Zerglings here. And the Queen is out, however, so should be able to defend this without any problems. Scouted here by Nefast, where Keen is. Second barrack is being built and a factory right now, so might see some marine mine drops coming in eventually here. Reactor and Teklam going down here at the barrack, one of the barracks. Reactor already here, so he will produce quite a amount of marines here from that one. We can see that Nefast is actually droning quite heavily here. 6 drones coming out soon, and really wants that extra income. The question is, what will he do for that income? He's adding on a second gas now as well. Stim being researched for Keen, so he's really gonna hit that timing. Starport going in, he's gonna go for the for a push, quite early push, or semi-early push with marine stim, I guess, and probably some mine, or maybe he won't even go for mine. Maybe he wants to go for a tank or something like that. But he's adding a reactor, so it seems like he's going for a mine. Could also be Hellions, of course, as we saw in the previous game, but let's see here. I actually switches, so Starport going down here into the reactor produces 2 medevacs, and nothing really being produced here from the factory at the moment. King quite low on resources, however, so Nidus Worm going down here from the fast. He really wants to try something out of the ordinary here, just to do something surprising towards Keen that he won't expect, I guess. And well, the question is, will he get that Nidus out in time? We can see he's adding on a bunch of queens here, so this will be a heavy all-in push basically. And here comes the medevacs, and if he actually goes in right now, this might turn into a base trade. The medevac drop here, it feels like Nefast should be able to defend this. Stim is almost finished. Here goes the Nidus, and here goes Keen straight in. The question is, look here at the amount of units. He has so much here, and he really needs to get out here. Oh, and he actually loses that Nidus, but he can go out here. I think so. Yeah, here comes the forces, but he has no reinforcements right now, so this is turning into a base trade, and if he's able to clean off the army at home, but we can see so good play here from Keen. He's actually pulling away with his units just to deal with the Nidus here instead, and if he's able to clean this up, he will probably win the game, because the losses here for Nefas will be so devastating to his economy actually, and he won't have anything at home. And Keen just pulling the workers, still has more workers than Nefast, and this is cleaned up and the Nidus is down, so basically now there's no defense left here for Nefast at home. We can see he's actually just droning out. He needs to get that income going, and here are the rest of his army trying to poke some holes here, but the tank here and a lot of marines with stim. I can't really see how Nefast is gonna be able to do anything about this army, and it was a good try, but I think he might have put his Nidus a bit too far ahead here, or a bit too much in front, and now he has to defend his base with basically nothing. I mean, he doesn't have anything. He has 5 roaches in these eggs, but the amount of forces that is coming in here is basically too much, so nothing really that Nefas can do. Keen was the better player, I have to say, and we look forward to see a final here between Nerkio and Keen then. Well, while we wait for that, we will take a quick break, and we'll be back when the game is starting. So don't leave and stay here to watch the final go down between Keen and Nerf.
When the night is over, my life is over, 'cause I start thinking again about our time together. When the night is over, my life is over, 'cause I start thinking again about our time together.
I dream too much. I tell myself that I can't stop. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. That I can't stop. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. Clearly now. Clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now.
Okay guys, so we are live here with the first final of Go for SC2 in September 2016, and the final is between, in the bottom right position, playing as the red Zerg, it is Nerkio, and his opponent playing as the blue Terran, it is Keen. And this will be an interesting matchup. I mean, Nerkio, one of the best foreign Zerg players there is, maybe even the best one. At least he is in top 3, I would argue. And Keen, well, I think at least he's at a really high level. I don't know if he's like top 3 Terran, but I mean, at least he is probably top 10 at least, I would say. I don't know how his latency is, however, in this matchup. It's not might be a bit hard for him to micro sometimes, I guess. I don't really know where he's playing from, so might be playing from NA, for example, and then it's a bit trickier for him to handle the micro sufficiently. So 17 hatch and 17 pool went down for Nerkio. CC going down here for Keen. We are playing at Apotheosis, and this gold base is so annoying to defend against Terran at this map, since you have the medivac drops, or tanks, I mean medivac tanks that you can just put down here and fire off here at the gold base. So really tough one to defend for Nerkio if he wants to take this gold base, but because at least he went for the second base here at a bit of a safer position here, in the beginning at least. And at the same time we can see 2 barracks being added here and 2 refineries for Keen. He's adding factory here as well, so Reaper, scouting Reaper out here. There are, however, Lings here to defend this, and soon there will also be a Queen to defend this. Already is a Queen up here. Speed is halfway through for Nerkio. Reactor and Tech Lab being added here, so we'll see Stim going out here and Marines being produced from this barrack over here. The question is, what will he get here from the factory? Might do a switch later on, as we saw in the previous game against Nefast here. He went for just the factory, getting that reactor, and then built a starport and switched it, and then proceeds with his marine push. And now we can see Nerkio taking this gold base, so he really wants that extra economy going in here for him, so he can produce a bunch of units. Zerglings with speed goes out here on a mission to find some information, I would assume. 5 Marines here, however, and a Reaper now in the front line will be able to defend this. There are only 4 of these Zerglings, and he actually goes for these rocks here just to block off any movement here into this base or this base. So basically might indicate, either he just wants to mess with Nerkio and try to do some mind games here, or force him to take this base because it's a bit easier maybe to do ling run bys. You can see here there is a quite big of a passage here, quite wide, and you also have the wide ramp up here that you can go through, but it's not easy for him though to get that going. Droning a bit behind this, getting the +1 upgrade for his Zerglings. Keen does not want to get these rocks in his way. He wants the rocks solid as they are. And a bunch of lings being produced here from Nerkio. He has quite an amount of queens actually here, 4 queens, so seems like he's going for some snute-like play here with the queens and producing a lot of lings here. So, and that creeper just got wrecked by those lings. We can see really many lings here, and he's going for the double upgrades here with the evolution chambers as well. And here comes the first drop from Keen. Question is, will he be able to do some damage here with this drop? He's probably scouted by that. We can see the lings, they move out here, and here comes the ling, and he's actually getting quite a good surround here, and he's forced to back off here with the drop. He's actually trying to get in a bit of better position here into the corner and get this overlord here. Actually manages to supply block Nerkio for a short while here. And here's this round again. He's not able to save the Marines still on the ground here, only manages to save a few of them, so loses 1 medevac with Marines. And here comes another drop of Marines here. Starts to go for the +1 upgrades here as well with 2 engineering base. Combat shield almost finished for him. Baneling nest on its way down for Nerkio, so Nerkio is really going for some ling baneling composition here with upgrades as well. He's going for the 4th base, so might eventually see some, we can see the +2 arm attack here as well, so he will definitely go for ling baneling composition here, at least now in the early beginning. Baneling speed now as well going down. We can see a small group of Marines going in here into the 4th base, but there are a lot of queens here, 4 queens and a bunch of lings. And he loses 2 Marines, but able to save most of them. Few tanks now as well, but still I mean, Nerkio is really getting a lot out of this gold base here. He has been mining for quite a while now, and a bit more production being added here for Keen now. Feels like he really needs to get something going, or he has to get a 3rd base here quite soon, otherwise Nerkio will basically have too much economy for him to deal with. And we can see the infestation pit going down now as well, so eventually we'll probably see infestors, and infestors together with baneling and Zergling composition is really devastating when you basically only have Marines. And well, here comes the 3rd base of Keen into the gold base here, and this might actually be really bad decision for him to land right now. The question is, will he get a bunch of workers here? And he's actually getting straight into the main here with his Zerglings. At the same time we can see tanks being dropped over here, but the Zerglings over here will actually be able to get this tank down, and really caught off position. The rocks are closed here by Keen, I would assume. Didn't see actually who did it. Barracks being produced out here, but mining is denied here for Keen, and Keen actually decides to kill the rocks here once again. Really good push there for Nerkio, and we can see how far ahead he is in worker and income lead right now. Just looking at the graphs here, and at the same time we can see that Keen tried to do some Marine harassment here, but it's basically too much. And a 5th base being added here now as well for Nerkio. The question is, will he add a macro hatch eventually here soon? I would assume so. He needs that larva because he's going for the ling and baneling. composition here. And here we can see a lot of banelings being morphed, a big bunch of zerglings here. Just tries to buy some time here. The Marines will move in on these banelings maybe. No, they actually back off because Nurki is moving around here and will try to go for this base once again, I would assume. And here comes the banelings, not really hitting anything because they are shut down. And here comes the Marines from the flank. Nurki decides to pull a few of these, some good baneling hits there actually from Nurki. And this looks really grim here. Keen actually goes for the GG, so really solid play from Nurki there in game number 1. And it felt like Keen didn't really have anything to put against the Zergling and Baneling composition that Nurki had actually. And well, resource collection, we can see the big bump here, but overall Keen was really low and a bit too late, I guess. With his third base there, couldn't really get enough units out there, and a really good shutdown of those drops also from Nurki, and did some good damage himself when he decided to push to that third base at the gold mine, or gold minerals. See here, joining game number 2, we will play at Frost LE, and it is the final of Go for SC2, hosted by ESL. So let's see here what will happen in this game. Predictions in the chat, maybe? Who will take game number 2? I won't do any predictions because I'm not biased. Maybe. Well, he's leading with 1 game. He's playing as the Red Zerg, 1 game from clinching the first Go for SC2 tournament of September. It is Snurkio. And his opponent playing as the Blue Terran. He's down 1 game, looking to bounce back after the previous game. It is Keen. So Nurki goes for this 17 hatch once again. He will quite soon actually find out where Keen is, and I would assume that Keen will also find out where Nurki is, because he sees this, eventually he will see this Overlord coming into his base. So no surprises there. Spawning pool goes down, 17 pool, and barrack being produced here by Keen. And Keen really needs to find a different strategy compared to the one he had last game. He tried to do some marine drops, but those were scouted so early by Nurki that he couldn't really do anything. They were shut down completely. CC going down here for Keen as well, so he's trying to go for some early economical here, I guess, and well, we'll see. The same will probably go for Nurki. He's adding on the safety links, getting that queen for the 2 bases here, and factory going down here. So he's not going for 2 barracks this time. He's going for the factory first here instead. So might see Hellions as he did against Nefast in the semi-finals. Scouting Reaper comes out right here. We'll try to spot anything fishy going on here. 2 safety links out here already, and soon queen, so he won't be able to do much with this Reaper. There's the queen just denying anything, and here's quite interesting because Keen actually misses this, and this is quite greedy from Nurkio, to be honest. And if Keen would have seen that, that would have been well, quite big for him to know. We see two Hellions going out here for Keen, together with some Marines and the starport as well. So Nurkio has sneaked in this third base that Keen hasn't seen yet. So basically Keen might think that Nurkio is at 2 bases right now, but I mean he can't really rule out that Nurkio has taken a third base because he didn't see anything else in his base. He only saw, well, we can see his let's see here, yeah, he actually didn't even scout the spawning pool, he didn't even scout behind here, so this is the only thing he has seen right now, 2 hatcheries and the gas. So he does not have that much information, to be honest. The problem here is that if he doesn't really, he has to be ready for an eventual push, and a push from Nurkio could really do a lot of damage. 2 evolution chambers goes down here as well, so we will probably see a similar composition for Nurkio this game as we did in the last game with banelings and zerglings and a bunch of queens. We can see 2 queens here already in the front line. He is adding on 2 more, and here comes the baneling nest, and a bunch of zerglings are being produced right now. Quite hard actually to go up against these hellbats with the zerglings, because the hellbats, they are strong against zerglings, that's for sure. We can see the queen here. 1 queen is actually going down, and these hellbats might actually do some damage here if he's able to keep them alive here against the queens. He really needs to get those queens down, but Nurkio is doing some really good job here, just basically running away. He's doing some run and shoot tactic here. So, but now they are not on creep anymore, and 2 queens again goes down here, but Nurkio really just produces so many zerglings, and he's just losing it straight away. 1 hellbat down, but still 4 here, and 2 more coming in here now as well. And we can see here the queens being chased into a corner here by the hellbats. 1 queen will go down here and another one here, and the zerglings basically have nothing to put up against these hellbats, and now they are starting to chip in here at the mineral line, and Nurkio left, so it's GG. A really good timing push there from Keen, and he's able to bounce back immediately. Really fast game there. Nurkio, I guess, wasn't really ready for it. He went for that third base and didn't have enough time really to mine up, I guess, to get that economical advantage that he needed. And when the hellbats came in, he basically only had zerglings and a couple of queens, and the zergling just melts when it comes to dealing with hellbats. So really good play there from Keen, and maybe a bit of a miss from Nurkio, to be honest. He could have been more ready for it, I guess. But that's what happens. Well, let's see here. At least we have a final game here on Galactic Process LE. It's 1-1 between the 2 players, so a final deciding game here. And we will start with the introduction here in the bottom left position. He's playing as the red Zerg. He lost the first game, but he won the first. No, I mean he won the first game, but he lost the last game. So it is Nurkio. And his opponent bounced back in the previous game with a real solid hellbat strategy. He's playing as the blue Terran. It is Queen. So let's see what do the players have in store for us in this game, guys. Who do you think will win this final match of today between Nurkio and Keen? It's 1-1. I would say that Nurkio won the first game quite decisively. He was never really threatened, played really well. And in the second game it was the complete opposite. Keen was the one that won really decisive. Nurkio couldn't stand up against the Hellbats that came in and wrecked his Zerglings. So really hard to predict who will be the victor in this last game of today. We can see that Keen hasn't actually gone for the CC yet. He will go with this one, so a scouting SUV goes out over here, and let's see, will he be able to find something funny here? Let's follow this SUV, this hero SUV, for a while at least, until that Reaper comes out. Then we will switch into the Hero Reaper instead. But look, oh, he's actually seeing 3 drones here. He sees the hatchery and decides to take a lap here around the hatchery, so just taking a bit of a jog here. And well, we'll focus on this Reaper now instead, with the cool boosters that he have behind his back. I mean, it must be really dangerous for him actually if these explode. And here comes the Lynx, not able to surround that Reaper, and the Reaper does quite good actually to fend off these Zerglings. Maybe, he's even getting one, so 1 kill here for this Hero Reaper. And at the same time, in Keen's base, we can see a factory going on, a 3rd CC being produced already, a 3rd base here being produced by Nurkio as well. So both players going really economical this time. Nurkio hasn't added anything yet though that will switch his tech at the moment. And well, let's see here what's going on. Factory finished here, and also a barrack here with a tech lab. Switching up is the factory, and 2 more barracks being produced, so a nice biocomposition going down here it seems like for Keen, while a baneling nest is being added here for Nurkio in the backlines, and an evolution chamber as well. 3rd base is up for Nurkio, almost up for Keen here. Now it's up, and he's going for the orbital command. So we'll have a lot of energy here for your for his mules. If he chooses to make mules, he could also scan, of course, if he thinks that is funny, which all Terrans think. That's what I think at least. Well, Nurkio's still just mining minerals basically. He's using 1 gas probably for the upgrades here in the evolution chamber. He's adding a 2nd one, so we'll probably see a Zergling baneling composition here, and a starport being produced here, but 2 barracks with reactors, and stim being researched from this 3rd with the tech lab. So we'll see a bunch of marines being produced here. We can see 2 engineering bases here as well. Here comes the first push. There are, however, Hellions here and a bunch of marines to protect this. 1 Hellion goes down though, but still. Let's see here, and the Zerglings just go straight in. Gets a decent round actually, but the Hellion does so much work against these Zerglings that they can't really do much. +1 attack and armor being produced here for Nurkio. Now he starts to add 2 more gas and a 3rd gas over here. So we'll eventually mine from 4 gases instead. The question is, he is going for the lair right now. I think it is this one. Yeah, exactly. So the lair over here. And it looks like even more production being put down here for Keen and Medivacs as well. So this is a pure bio composition, it looks like. We can see the work of the mules here will start to block off the rocks over here. 4th base being taken here by Nurkio, taking down this energy wall just to get the movability here for his army, which is something that he will really need if he's gonna defend against drops that might come eventually. But as you can see, a lot of production here added for Keen, which indicates that he will, well, get a quite decent army here to do some harassment or maybe a frontal push even. Medivacs just chilling here at the rock walls. Nurkia is aware of this, and but he's actually not doing much about it. The Sling and Bailing army, however, is not far away, and here's the stim, and he puts up all of his units right before the Bailing hits here, but he really has to drop now because he will lose this Medivac. Doesn't really lose that much, but he will try to save most of the army there. We can see even more production being added here for Keen here, and he has +1. We can see +2, however, going down for Nurkio together with the Baneling speed, so he's starting to get the amount of Zerglings and Banelings that he really wants. At the same time, a small push here manages to get one Overlord there, but quite trapped here against the rocks. Keen just trying to do some multiple harassment here with his dropships here, Medivacs, and here comes a mine drop, it looks like, but Nurki is so aware that is what is going on and really does a good job defending this. He's not losing much at all. I mean, we can see not even lost a drone yet, and now he's also adding spore crawlers here, which will give vision and deny. Here comes the mine drop into the mineral line. The question is, how much will he get for it? Quite decent hit from that mine at least. Manages to get 3 workers and a bunch of links, and here comes the frontal push here with some mines.
Game paused.
And there's a pause. So, well, Keen is going for this frontal push with 1-1 upgrade. He has the combat shield, he has the stim, he has a bunch of medivacs here, 4 of them, a few mines, 2 mines. Just if he can get a good hit here at these Zerglings, there are really many Zerglings, to be honest. And I don't think that his marine army over here can really stand up against the amount of Zerglings and Banelings that Nurkio have over here. But it all depends on the mine hits here. If he's able to get a good mine hit, he can actually do some real damage with this marine push over here. We can see he has 3 barracks here with tech labs and is starting to produce a bunch of marauders soon, I guess. He has 3 over here as well and 2, so in total he has 8 barracks, so quite a lot of production at the moment, and will start to get a few of these marauders. Really good against the Banelings, just to tank up here. One poor marine here going out alone, and it goes down quite fast here. And this is a good surround here that Nurki is doing. We can see he's trying to go in here. Keen is doing some good work here, trying to split up his army, but this is basically too much. And here comes the second push, however. 2 mines go down immediately there from the Banelings, and all of these marines are also just killed off. And right now, Keen doesn't have that much actually. He needs to defend the frontier if Nurki decides to attack, but it seems like Nurki is not ready for a full frontal assault right now, at least. He's backing off instead and just waiting. He gets his Banelings number up here instead, and he's also getting a Spire and Ultralisk Cavern here. Admiral Glance under research as well. +2, almost finished here for Keen. We can see the big Ling run by, and it's actually able to get through here. And the question is, the path here to the mineral line is totally open right now, and these Lings might do some real damage here. Keen is pulling his workers and is trying to deal with the Lings here, and he has a lot of units right now to do it. 3 Ultras are being produced, and this is a scary timing for Keen, because he really needs to start doing some damage right now with his push, but he can't really get through the amount of Zerglings and Banelings to do the amount of damage that he needs. And when this chitinous plating is finished, he will really struggle with those ultras. And Nurkill, I guess he just wants to buy himself some time here. We can see he's trying to get this round here, manages to get it, and look at these Banelings just straight in here at the ramp. Some really good hits, but the Marauders are good at tanking Baneling hits. Chitinous plating about 60% done. The first ultras start to come out right now, but they are quite squishy at the moment. But look at the amount of Zerglings, they're getting some good surrounds here. Here comes the reinforcement, but look at the ultras just going down so fast against these Stim Marines. He really needs to get that chitinous plating going, and it's almost finished. It's only a couple of seconds away before these ultras will be so heavy and hard to kill. But he loses quite a lot of those ultras actually. 3 of them trying to do a wraparound here, and now the ultras are hard to kill here for the Marines. We can see at the same time here a few Lings just doing some work here with the reinforcement of Keen. Even more ultras are being added here for Nurkill. He has 2 right now in his army, but 3 more in the eggs just waiting to pop out and join the party, so to say. Quite scary force of medivacs here, 9 of them. I would be really afraid about of the medivacs, to be honest. And Nurkill does some really good job here with Zerglings, just cutting off this path here where the reinforcement wants to go in. So Keen constantly has to be aware of what is going on behind him, because if he doesn't, he will lose all his reinforcements. You can see now, actually lost quite a lot there, and he's trying to get the 4th base here. I really like this, but a 5th base just went down here for Nurkill. But still, if we look at Nurkill, what he's really missing right now is, well, a few infestors basically. Seems like he might be going for, I don't really know if he just maybe want to transition into Broodlords. He hasn't got a great Aspire yet, but he is getting a few Corruptors, or is it just for getting down or killing off those medivacs in the air? Because without the medivacs his army is not as dangerous as it could be. Nurkill trying to buy some time here, just pushing, looking a bit, trying to push the front a bit further away from his 4th base, which has been quite close to the front line here. And here comes another wraparound here. It seems like he's going to destroy the rocks here, and we can see a Marine drop going down soon here. But here comes the big push into the 3rd base, but it's basically mined out. But he will maybe get some production here with his ultras. At the same time, 2 mines goes in here. We can see a big push here coming down for Keen right now. He really feels that he can't really defend the harassment here in his 3rd base, so he really has to go for the full frontal assault here. There are, however, ultras and a few banelings here that can buy some time, and look at the tankiness of these ultras. They are just standing there taking so much damage, and at the same time dealing so much damage. And Nurkill is the winner of today's Go for SG2 final. Really good match here in the end. I really enjoyed watching these 2 players going off against each other. 2-1 is the final score in favor of Nurkill, and it was really intense doing the solo cast today in this match, to be honest. So much going on. And at least I hope this was best of 3. It should be. It says so, at least. Yeah, it was a best of 3. Well, That was all from Viking TV today, and guys, don't miss out on Battle of Scandinavia. The qualifiers will start tomorrow at 6 p.m. or 1800 Central European. What is standard time, right? Central European summertime. It is. So 1800 Central European summertime or 6 p.m. And we have some really good players from Scandinavia participating. And thanks a lot for tuning in today. It was really fun to see so many enjoying the stream today and watching the players here in Go for SE2. I really appreciate it, and we at Viking TV are really thankful that you like our streaming and casting. If you have any suggestions, please just give us a PM or send us an email. You can find the info here at our Twitch channel, who to email and stuff like that. And please give us a follow if you like our stream. And don't miss out on Battle of Scandinavia tomorrow. So thanks a lot, guys, for today, and I hope to see you next time. This is Hofrino, and I'm out. Bye bye.